and the major moves that went down, and some moves that I think were very underrated and has been overlooked, and more on this episode of What's the Scrimmage. Let's get it. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ron. I'm here once again with another brand new episode of What's the Scrimmage. I am so happy to be back. I know some of you, or maybe not a lot of you, don't know I've been away for a minute. Life be lifing, like my sister be saying. But I am back. I am very ready to go to talk about this. Give you a brand new episode of What's the Scrimmage, especially on this incredible, crazy NBA all season. I mean, we just coming off a crazy NBA season, let alone with the whole Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers trade that is still feeling the ripples effect from the NBA of everything. And plus, with the Dallas Mavericks getting the number one overall pick in the draft to be able to get Cooper Flag from Duke University. Um, Man, that still right there to that one is still unbelievable that the Dallas Mavericks were able to get that done. Even with that whole ordeal of giving up Luca and then just being able to get the number one overall pick in the draft. And like I said, I think, man, it's just crazy, man, how everything has been played out with everything between the Lakers, Dallas, and the NBA in general. But before we get into anything else, gotta send a congratulations to your 2005 NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Gotta say, man, it's been long time coming for that franchise because I'm a huge fan of Sam Preston. Sam Preston is just one of the best GMs in the game today. He has the opportunity to be one of the best to ever do it. You could probably end up putting him with guys like Red Auerbach or Jerry West or RC Buford from the San Antonio Spurs. um, Jerry Krause, who put that Bulls team together with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Phil Jackson. Went out and got Tony Kukoc. Went out and found. Went out and got a found of Tony Kukoc and went out and found a Horace Grant and found a Scottie Pippen and went out and got a Dennis Rodman. So, yeah, Sam Presti is definitely on a run right now. I mean, he's been doing amazing work with that franchise since they moved to Oklahoma City. I mean, getting KD, Russ, Harden, Ibaka, finding like just really amazing talent, and then to have that that go away, have that happen, and that team to and for him to put a team together as quickly as he did, because it wasn't too long ago they had KD on that team, and they had Harden on that team, had Russ on that team, and they had Paul George on that team, and they had you know Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, some valuable soon to be Hall of Famers on that team, and he was still able to turn around and to make this team into a championship team, a very young championship team at that. So amazing work from Sam Presti. Amazing year for Shea Gilgis Alexander, not only becoming the scoring champion, Finals MVP, regular season MVP, and NBA champion. The last person to do that was Shaquille O'Neal in 2000 when he was with the Los Angeles Lakers, winning the scoring title, regular season MVP, and Finals MVP. So there's more great things coming along with that team. Jalen, Jalen Green, Chet Holmgren, and all those young cats, and they got more talent on that team coming up too. But I'm getting ahead of myself talking about OKC and their off season. But congratulations to them and them going forward. And on the other side of that, you talk about the Indiana Pacers. Man, what a hell of a season! What a roller coaster season that team had, from the game winning shots and everything down to, from the game winning shots over Cleveland, defeating Cleveland, defeating New York, then getting all the way to Game Seven into the finals, and then having the most nightmares of nightmares of a franchise team that happens, you know, the injury to Tyrese Halliburton when he tears his ACL, and to see him immediately go down and in pain and crying, and just he knows that what just happened, man. And it's crazy having him going down with Achilles injury, along with Jason Tatum, along with Damian Leonard, and others that came along this year as well. So yeah, man. And then with them this off season as well with the Indiana Pacers, it's like a tremendous drastic turnaround for this team for being into the playoffs, being in the playoffs, making a run that they did, getting all the way to a game 7 into the finals, and to have everything turn out the way it's done for this team in the off season is just mind blowing how this how everything has turned out. But don't want to get but still want to give congratulations to Oklahoma City Thunder. They were the best team all year. They was the best team all year. They deserve it, and they definitely deserve everything they've gotten this year and continue moving forward. I see this team sticking around for the long haul. I think this was probably if I look at anything with this Oklahoma City team, I definitely think this team can be the first team since the Golden State Warriors, KD's Golden State Warriors with KD, Steph, Clay, and Draymond could be the first team to repeat since the Golden State Warriors with KD on the Golden State Warriors. It's a very possibility we could see that happen with this Oklahoma City team. Just they're how they're put together, how they are all how they're put together, how they're just together as a team. They have the experience now, they have the hardware now, and they have a leader in Shea Gilgeous Alexander who's who's light years above light years above himself in maturity and leadership and everything with that. This is something that this Oklahoma City team is definitely going to be something to reckon with for years to come, moving forward. And yeah, they're not going anywhere. So definitely congratulations to Oklahoma City and their fans. I know a lot of Seattle fans out there is kind of feeling salty right now because that's the team that took their Supersonics away, from Seattle. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Oklahoma City and congratulations to them on winning their 2025 NBA championship, and looking like they look like they're here to stay for a while. But we're going to talk about them moving forward into the free agency. But we're going to go into free agency highlights. Some of the highlights that I feel like was the main state of this year's free agency, and one of the free agency that pretty much kicked off right before the game 7 between Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers was between the Houston Rockets and the Phoenix Suns. Now, I didn't know this can go down during the playoffs at all, like during like when the playoffs are in play, or championship finals is played. But then I looked it up and I found out that if any team that has missed the playoffs or that has been eliminated from the playoffs, their off season starts immediately. So that means even with the playoffs going on, whoever is not participating in the off season, in the regular in the postseason, they will pretty much be have the opportunity to do free agency moves and trades and stuff like that, even with the playoffs going forward. So I was kind of shocked. I thought everything kind of stopped when the playoffs and the finals are going forward, but no, they could still do business. I found out they could still do business even with the season, even with the playoffs and the regular season. I mean, the playoffs and the finals are still going on. So it's just like it's just their season is over, and the other team that is doing season is over as well, that they could do transactions between each other, even with the playoffs and finals is going forward because both teams' seasons are over. So it's but once the game seven, before the game seven of the Oklahoma City and Indiana Pacers was going forward, we got a huge trade between the Houston Rockets and the Phoenix Suns, with the Phoenix Suns trading KD to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th overall pick of the 20 of this year's NBA draft, with came in Monlunch. I don't want to. I hope I don't butcher his name. I don't want to butcher his name with that. Hopefully, I didn't butcher his name. Um, Hold on. I'm gonna get his name right. I'm gonna edit this.
Hey man, I appreciate you doing this. What's going on? I have a question real quick. Yeah. Say your last name for me.
Come on, Maluach. Maluach is my last name.
Okay. I've always wondered how, hey man, I appreciate you doing this. What's going on? I have a question real quick. Yeah. Say your last name for me.
Come on, Maluach. Maluach is my last name.
Okay.
So the Houston Rockets and the Phoenix Suns end up trading, doing the deal between each other, sending Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets. For To the Houston Rockets, Phoenix Suns will be getting Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th overall pick in this year's 2025 NBA draft that turned out to be Kalen Malunch, and five second round picks as well, be going to the Phoenix Suns. And also, so with that, also with that move happening as well, you have Dorian Finney-Smith leaving the Los Angeles Lakers to sign a 4-year, $53 million contract to be with the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets end up re-signing Clint Capella, a reunion with Clint Capella, um, um, bringing a backup center behind Steven Adams, who they re-signed, retained Steven Adams on a team-friendly contract with him, with that team. Also, they've re-signed Jay Sean Tate as well, with his signed him, and also they re-signed Fred Van Vliet to a 2-year, $50 million contract with, as well, and also they re-signed, and also they brought back Jeff Green as well, on a vet minimum deal, as well for the Houston Rockets as well. And I have to give Houston Rockets a lot of credit. They pretty much took a lot. They gave up a young player in Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks and replaced them with Kevin Durant and with Dorian Finney-Smith. A lot of people kind of wonder where their defense was they going to get, because they gave up Dylan Brooks. Um, they gave up Dylan Brooks in the deal with Jalen Green in the 10th pick, and I was wondering where you're going to get your defensive point of attack with your team. And then here comes Dorian Finney Smith out of nowhere. Free agency, comes over, signs a 4-year, $53 million deal with the Houston Rockets. And then you get back Clint Capella, bolstering up your center position, backing up Steven Adams, who you resign. And then and then also signing back re-signing back Fred Van Vliet as well to a 2-year, $50 million deal. I think this is the best. To me, this is the best that KD has ever had in winning a championship outside his time of dealing with the Golden State Warriors. Like, seriously, this is definitely a time where KD has like I believe the Houston Rockets is probably the second best team in the West right now, right behind OKC. And then I have Denver right behind them because Denver did some really good moves as well to bolster their roster this offseason as well. But yeah, Houston looks like they're going to be something to deal with. I mean, they were already like the third seed in this year's draft. This past season, they were like the third seed, playing extremely well. And even though they got bounced out of the playoffs, um, because Jalen Green pretty much, was a no show only in one game. And with that, when that happened, a lot of people looked at it was like, well, they need a guy to go along with Shangoon and all the rest of those guys to go forward in this team, and then not giving up major players on their squad as well. Um, as well, they only give it up Jalen Green. They only give up Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, um, guys that you pretty much guys that even though you wanted, even though people were thinking um, even though people thought Jalen Green, even though people thought Jalen Green was going to be uh, the next guy on their squad with Ahmed Thompson and everybody else and Reed Shepard and Shangoon. But when he didn't show up, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that the Houston wanted to make a deal and which direction they wanted to go. Did they wanted to go with KD or did they wanted to go with Giannis and everything? And it kind of felt as though that yeah, KD was the better choice. He was a knockdown shooter. He's a great go-to guy. They have a great defense, and you put that type of that type of scoring dynamo in what KD is. I mean, oh come on, man! And then the thing is, you don't even get up. You don't even give up. You keep your main core. You keep Alfred Shangoon. You keep Amir Thompson. You keep Fred Van Vliet. You keep Steven Adams. You keep Reed Shepard. You got Clint Capella back. You got Jabari Smith Jr., who I'm huge fan of his. His defense is just amazing. I love Jabari Smith Jr. and Tyree Eason, and then Dory Finney-Smith on that squad as well. Like they really have a very good roster going into next season. That is something to be dealt with, and like with any other team, um, health is going to be an issue, especially dealing with somebody like a Kevin Durant who's been dealing with injuries over the years with him. But and then you have your head coach, an amazing head coach in Ime Udoka, who definitely has this team ear and is definitely one of the top coaches in the NBA today. I'm a huge fan of his, and I'm looking forward to see what this Houston team is going to be doing moving forward in this regular in next season because this team really looks like they could be something to deal with. It could definitely be a tough out in the playoffs, and definitely want to see how this team moves forward, and especially with everything they have changed. They pretty much with the moves that they made this all season, they're in win now mode. You don't trade for KD and again, and you don't trade Jalen Green for KD and Dylan Brooks to just to make it to the second round. This is a championship move for a very good defensive team, and now you have your go-to guy in Kevin Durant. Let's see how this goes for the Houston Rockets moving forward. Definitely give this team a very good. I don't want to put a grade. I don't like put a grade to it, but if I had to put a grade, even though I don't want to put a grade, I'm going to do it because it's just to put it like a nice little bow to it. If I had to give them a grade, I give them an A, an absolute A with this one. They did a fantastic job with this moves, making this team one of the top teams in the West or in the NBA. Period. Yeah, definitely want to see how this Houston Rockets team is going to look forward, and it makes the road even harder in the West, and moving forward. Sticking out to the West, we're gonna go to the team that Dory Finney-Smith left to go to the Houston Rockets, and that's the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, first thing I want to talk about: LeBron James opts into his $52.6 million option with the Los Angeles Lakers. Pretty much let it be known that he will be playing his 23rd year in the purple and gold. Now he got a lot of flack of now LeBron got a lot of flack in taking the option. A lot of people were upset that he didn't give the Lakers a discount, and he pretty much just put the Lakers in a bind, as people would say, because he took the $52 million deal. My thing is on that subject is LeBron James has every right to take the deal. Hell, the $52 million deal that he received is to me is low. He's way underpaid because of what type of status, ability, and he's still one of the top players in the NBA today. And on top of that, a lot of people who are saying that really, really, I mean, do we forget that LeBron James tried last year to take a deal with for the Lakers before he resigned last year to the Lakers? He was willing to take a pay cut if the Lakers were willing to bring in some more help to help the Lakers with when it was him and AD. Ult- Pretty much he wanted to they wanted another center. They wanted a center to go along with AD to bolster that roster. They didn't do that. They had their eye on Jonas Valanciunas. He ended up signing with the Wizards, and then LeBron was like, you know what? I'm not gonna leave money on the table, so he took the deal, and I guess this year he was like, nah, I'm cool. I'm not gonna give you a discount. You tried. I've been screaming for help for the boost of the roster and everything of that nature. You didn't do it. Why should I give up money that you're not gonna do anything with it anyway? So I have no problem with that. Absolutely never gonna hear me complain about a player not taking a pay cut or giving teams a friendly deal for them. And for people to say, oh well, Tim Duncan took a friendly team deal. Oh, Tom Brady took a friendly team deal for this team to win. But y'all keep forgetting Tim Duncan had R.C. Buford and Greg Popovich as the front office with the San Antonio Spurs, who knows how to draft, who knows how to structure teams together. Tom Brady had Bill Belichick, who knows how to pick players, who knows how to put players in a situation to win. Pretty much the Spurs and the Patriots at one point in time pretty much mirror each other on how they did their business as an organization in bringing in the right players with the right mindset and with the right mindset and the abilities to play the game the the right way that they see and to make that culture work, and they have been successful ever since they've done that. Well, more than now, since Bill Belichick is long gone, and then the Spurs pretty much has been down for a minute now, but they have been amazingly well because they have a great thing. If LeBron James had somebody like us go back to Sam Presti as a GM, I guarantee you LeBron James would have no problem giving up that type of giving up much more money to him because Sam Presti is going to make good on it and put him in a position to win and to win big and win championships. So that's how my feeling LeBron James opted in. Had no problem with that. So with LeBron logging getting his contract, opting into his contract, Lakers have been pretty much looking for a big man, and we've been hearing everything from being attached to Mark Williams with the um, uh, being attached to Mark Williams from Charlotte. That deal fell through because of a physical issue and everything, and also Walker Kessler from the Utah Jazz. We've been hearing so much about that trade and dealing with them, but of course you got Danny Ainge um, running the office in Utah, and even though he's running Utah, he's a Celtic. He doesn't want to do any type of business with the Lakers unless it benefits him, and he's going to try to rob the Lakers blind and try to rake them over the coals if he can. Do if he's doing any deal with the Lakers, and then also want to go back to that too, which I think is super funny too as well. The main person that should be extremely upset with the Lakers getting Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks getting the number one overall pick in the draft to get Cooper Flag is Danny Ainge. Can you imagine Danny Ainge? If you could remember, during that trade, it was a three-team trade. It was the Lakers, Dallas, and Utah. And Danny Ainge was in the dark when that deal went down because he got Hood Shafino and some picks. I think he got two like second round picks, and he didn't know that the Lakers were getting Luka Doncic in the process when getting that deal done, and also Anthony Davis going to the Dallas Mavericks. So he didn't know that the Lakers, who were pretty much on the back end with LeBron and AD, LeBron pretty much in his 40s, probably 2 more years, and then he's retiring. And then AD, who's pretty much at the back end of a 30, serviceable, still a great player, still could do his thing on the floor, but know for sure that his time is coming up pretty soon because of injuries and him being with injuries and everything of that nature. That the Lakers were going to pretty much everybody was looking at the Lakers like they were pretty much getting ready to fall off with the next 2 3 years. They're trying to hold on to the picks that they have, so they can hold on. So because when LeBron leaves and AD is not what he used to be anymore, they could still have something. But people were looking at the Lakers like they were going to on a free fall, on a verge of another free fall, with LeBron being retired and AD, even though AD is still a great player when he can, he's not consistent at all the time. So they're not looking at him as a guy that could carry the franchise. And now, so the Lakers are pretty much like, okay, cool. Everybody's looking at the Lakers. They're looking for the downfall. Then all of a sudden, boom! In the thief of the night, the Lakers end up landing Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis and Max Christie and one of their first round picks, which is crazy because a player like Luka Doncic, you definitely give up than one more than one pick. You probably give up like 7 first round picks, and some more stuff. You probably give up the statue of Shaquille O'Neal or Chick Hearns or Magic Johnson, or just it's just you give up a lot for that type of player in Luka Doncic, and the Lakers were able to get Luka off of the Dallas Mavericks because um, Nico Harris just wanted to get up off of Luka. He just want him out of there. So it was like, oh wow, okay, shoot, we get this. And Danny Ainge didn't even know anything about it, and he was a part of that trade. I know he was fuming when he found about that trade. I know he was fuming. I guarantee you, if he would have knew about that trade when that trade was going down and he was a part of it, he would have instantly nixed it. He would have instantly not do it. He would have instantly made it. He would have made it difficult and would have went to the media and put it out there that the Lakers and Dallas were doing the deal to get Luka Doncic, and then it'd have been all over the news. You'd hear teams would have put together amazing packages together to get Luka out of Dallas and everything. So that's why the Lakers really had to do this. Lakers and Dallas really had to do this deal in the shadows because if this would have gotten an inkling out, this deal wouldn't have went through at all. And so once we heard the deal, we didn't hear anything about it. We just heard the deal was done. It was put through. Luka to the Lakers. I know Danny Ainge was like, really? My rival really got another generational talent that's 25 at the time years old, now 26. And now I got to deal with this guy in a purple and gold uniform moving forward for the next 5, 6, maybe 7 years. I know he's heated. And then to turn around, drop out of the top, then to turn around out of the top of the draft because you were one of the worst teams. He had the three. I think his team had the three best odds to winning this year's very deep draft, and then to turn around and to lose the number one pick to the Dallas Mavericks of all teams to get Luke Cooper Flag at the number one pick in the draft to Dallas Mavericks. Oh man, I know Danny Ainge is like fuming, not just at the Lakers but at Dallas. Like he is fuming at both teams. Like I know he can't. I know he can't stay in the Lakers for, for obvious reasons because his Celtic, because he bleeds green with Celtic and everything, and the heated rivalries he's had in the past with the Celtics. But with everything that's went down from the draft, from the trading of Luca to the Lakers from Dallas, and Dallas getting the number one overall pick in this year's draft in this very deep draft and getting Cooper Flag. I know I know Danny Ainge was fuming. He was fuming this entire season, even though they got a great number one. They got and then dealing with his rookie this year, with everything that's been going on with his team. But we'll get into that later with everything with Utah. But man, this was something. Yeah, I know Danny Ainge was not a happy camper when everything went down. But going back, but getting back on subject with the Lakers and the off season. So the Lakers really need a big man. They've been looking for a big man ever since AD went on an interview with Shams, and what AD went on with Shams, and he talked about how he needed to play with a center, that he needed a center, and he was absolutely right. We've seen when the Lakers played with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis had JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard. They won a championship because AD was able to play freely and play his natural position at the four, and that's what he wanted to do. He didn't want to play at the five. He said he didn't want to play at the five. He wanted to play. He wanted to play at the four, and that's what he plays better. That's why I never understood why the Lakers didn't just listen to him and wanted to. I guess they just wanted to, you know, move forward, and then pretty much didn't want to. After the whole Russell Westbrook experiment went down, I guess they was like they didn't want to hear what LeBron and AD had to offer anymore. They was like, we're just going to do what we do, and with them holding out, because who's to say if they would have, if things would have turned out the way they did, if they would have gave up that one of those picks to get a center or anything of that nature, that they would have gotten Luca. But it is what it is. It turned out the way it is. So with the Lakers needing a center, people were saying Walker Kessler. They tried to do a deal with Mark Williams, but that fell through due to physical issues and due to the physical that they received from him that didn't come out. That didn't come out. The Lakers thought would be for that team. Um, so they end up not going nixing the deal, and it pretty much got into the playoffs. Lost in five to Minnesota Timberwolves in five because Rudy Gobert, with them not having a center, Rudy Gobert turned into Rudy Chamberlain and Rudy Abdul Jabbar, Rudy O'Neal, whatever you want to call it. That's what that dude turned into. And of course, you're 7 foot tall, and the Lakers don't have nobody that's as tall as that is either as tall or that could guard you at that height. You should definitely punish him, and that's what exactly he was supposed to do. He did exactly what he was supposed to do as a big man. So the Lakers out in five. They need a big man, and we all know how Luca is when he needs a big man. We saw what happened when Nico Harrison got him. When they got Derek Lively and um Daniel no, I'm sorry. I'm going to cut this part. I was right. Daniel Gafford. Gafford. So we saw what happened when Nico Harris went out and got a Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford to go along with Luca, and that team flourished and went to the finals that year. Um, end up losing to the to the Celtics. End up losing to the Celtics, even though and PJ and also getting PJ Washington. With Nico, with Nico Harrison getting PJ Washington, um, Derek Lively, who's come back off an injury, and with Daniel Gafford, um, pretty much put the Dallas Mavericks. They went on a very incredible run, getting to the finals, and taking on the eventual champions, which was the Boston Celtics. So the Lakers really need to make a move to get a big man to for this team. And then a lot of people's like who they're going to trade for. A lot of people's like they're holding out to see what they could get or what's going to happen for this team. A lot of people saying like I said, Walker Kessler was heavily thought of, and they also thought if the Lakers could go and do a deal once again to get a Daniel Gafford or a Daniel Gafford to come and trade it for the Lakers once again. But I think that well got dried because they got the best player from Dallas, and a lot of people really criticized Dallas for giving up Luka for so little that I think that Dallas was going to have them really compensate themselves even more in that particular trade for Daniel Gafford, just to pretty much get what they got more, pretty much to make up for what they got for Luka for pretty much, not going to say practically nothing because AD is not nothing. AD is still a great player, but for pretty much they could have got a lot more for Luka, and the Lakers really, and the Lakers, I think Dallas would have pretty much would have went and asked for more in that particular deal if they would have went and asked for Daniel Gafford. So the Lakers pretty much was out there. It was like, okay, we just gotta wait, see what happens, and see what's going to happen, what we could do moving forward. And then boom, out of the blue, we get a notification that DeAndre Ayton of same draft class as Luka Doncic, the number one overall pick in the same draft of Luka Doncic and Trae Young, was getting ready to get bought out by the Portland Trailblazers, and going to be hitting the free agent market. And when I saw that, I immediately was like, man, this will be a great pickup for the Lakers. One reason why I think this is a very good pickup for the Lakers, for a few things. One, DeAndre Ayton is a center that we've been looking for, been asking for, been wanting to get this center for the very longest time. Boom, we got him. Two, we didn't have to give up anything to get DeAndre Ayton. He's coming off of free agency. He's coming off the street. He's coming off of free agency after being bought out by Portland. He got his money with Portland and everything, and then we signed him to a 2-year deal. We signed him with a 2-year deal with the Lakers right off the free agency. Right off the free agency without giving up any picks, players, anything. Great. Now, this could go either way. If this turns out to be, this could be the best thing that could ever happen to him and the Lakers, because DeAndre Ayton is not a scrub. He could play the game of basketball. He seems like he developed a mid range. He shot the three ball a little bit here and there. He could defend. He could protect the rim, and also he's a rebounder that we all need, that the Lakers needed as well. So that's one thing. Now, if it does become, how they would say, a poo-poo show, and I'm using that word very, very, I'm using the other word except for the other show, but if it comes a poo-poo show, then the Lakers really don't have much to lose, because they're not signed to him to a long-term contract. They got him for like 2 years, and they didn't give up valuable pieces. They didn't give up a number one over. They didn't give up a draft pick. They didn't give up a player, anything. They just pretty much, if it turns out that it doesn't work out for the Lakers or for DeAndre Ayton, they could just let him go. He could walk, and then move on from there. Like I said, this is a low risk, high reward for the Lakers and get DeAndre Ayton. And DeAndre Ayton been saying the right things. He's saying that he wants to take advantage of this opportunity, playing alongside Luka and LeBron. He said he wants to get back into a winning environment with the Lakers, and Luka seems like he's ready to play and be, and I mean Luka and LeBron is going to make DeAndre Ayton look great as long as he's motivated to play. It's not like if he's like a scrub and he can't play the game, because he's really good. I think he averaged like 16 and 10, 16 points, 10 rebounds. They're gonna make him look good, and he was doing that on a Portland team without a primary point guard. Can you imagine a guy like Luca that's going to give this guy so many looks and everything with this team with him on the floor? Yeah, if I'm DeAndre Ayton, I'm looking this as a great opportunity to go and do my thing with the Lakers and everything. Um, the Lakers re-signed Jackson Hayes to be a backup to DeAndre Ayton, which a lot of people already see him as a backup point guard. They didn't see him as a center, as a starting center. So him backing up DeAndre Ayton, good move, re-signing him back. Jake LaRavia, the Lakers signed him after free agency, and this is after the Lakers lost uh, Dorian Finney-Smith to the Houston. They went out and they got Jake LaRavia, um, much younger, much younger. I think he's 23 years old, 6'7", shot 42% from the 3-point line, and could play defense. And I've seen, if you don't know who Jake LaRavia is, it's Jake Jake, last name Lavia, Jake LaRavia. Check him out, look him up. I've been watching, videos on him, highlights, and how everything he's been doing. Kid looks nice, man. He's 6'7". He can knock down the three, and he plays defense. So I'm really looking forward to see if he could take up that proverbial slot that Dorian Finney-Smith left after, since he left and went to Houston. So really excited about that. And plus, and also because of recording this on Sunday, yesterday it was been reported that Marcus Smart got bought out by the Washington Wizards. The former 2022 Defensive Player of the Year, the first guard to do it since Gary Payton, has been bought out by the Washington Wizards, and is signing a 2-year, $11 million deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. Very good pickup for the Lakers in my view. As long as he can stay healthy, because that's been his problem majority of the time since he's been out of the proverbial basketball limelight, because being traded to Boston, to Memphis, then to Memphis to the Wizards, from the Grizzlies, from been traded from the Celtics to the Grizzlies, then from the Grizzlies to the Wizards. Now being bought out by the Wizards, coming to the Lakers. He's now getting ready to get back into that proverbial basketball spotlight where it's going to be on him much, much more now, because now he's playing with a guy of the name of LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and also wearing the purple and gold. And I think this will be the fourth time that I can remember off the top of my dome that this will be the fourth time that a player that have played for the Boston Celtics has turned around and played for the Los Angeles Lakers. Um, it was Rick Fox and Brandon Bass, Rajon Rondo, and now Marcus Smart. So definitely a great pickup, a point of attack guard they needed really bad that could also take up the slack of where Dorian Finney-Smith has taken up, because he's no longer with the Lakers and with Houston. So could be a really good move for the Lakers, getting Marcus Smart and seeing what Jake LaRavia can do as well. I believe they boost their bench a lot more as well. Getting Marcus Smart and Jay LaRavia, you still got Rui Hachimura there. You still got Austin Reeves. You still got you got Jackson Hayes. You pretty much got a really good. You pretty much boosted your roster just a little bit more. Um, I don't know now that they went and got Marcus Smart, they're going to have to cut somebody off the team, which they just recently they I believe they just cut Shake Milton off the team to make room for Marcus Smart on the team, and I think they're going to make some more moves to make the money work and everything with getting Marcus Smart because they went and re-signed Jackson Hayes, re-signed Jackson Hayes. So with that, so we'll see how that moves forward with everything with the Lakers. Like I said, I if I have to give the Lakers a grade since the Marcus Smart trade, I mean system getting guys off of free agency without having to trade major assets like picks and players, and able to put guys on the roster and places that they really need. Depending on how everything turns out, I give this an A for the Lakers. They needed a center, they got a center. They lost during. I mean, I would say a B. I'll give it a B because they lost Dorian Finney-Smith, which I thought was a major loss. Plus, on top of that, they had a story that came out that Luka Doncic had also was the one that recruited Marcus Smart and wanted Marcus Smart to come and play with the Lakers, and that made Marcus wanted to sign with the Lakers because Luka reached out to him and wanted him to play with the Lakers. So Luka is showing his is showing how he wants to recruit and bring players to the Lakers and bring um and building a roster around him to play with in the lake in LA with the Lakers. And then Lucas said he wanted to be known as the guy to bring championships to the Los Angeles Lakers. It shows that he's showing his he wants to stay and stay and build with the Lakers moving forward. I mean, a lot of people had a lot of takes on saying this past thing like the Lakers had to show improve. Like he didn't want to, he didn't intend to be with the Lakers. The Lakers have to show improve. Who's to say that he doesn't stay with the Lakers? The Lakers are on edge because they want to sign, to make sure if Luka wants to sign. But now Luka, the stories is coming out that Luka not only wants to bring championship to the Lakers, but he's also went out and asked for Marcus Smart to and went and recruited Marcus Smart to be signed with the Lakers. So, like I said, I give it a B because of losing Dorian Finney-Smith, but getting Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, and Jake LaRavia, three guys that I'm hopefully that will make big impacts for the Lakers this coming season. Really looking forward to this one. And as a Laker fan, I'm excited to see how this team goes. JJ Redick getting his second year as a head coach with LeBron. He had a really good year for a rookie head coach, and yeah, definitely want to see how everything goes and how things moving forward with this Lakers team and how this thing goes moving forward. So, yeah, and plus the Bus family um, selling their shares, majority shares, majority of shares as well. So we'll see how everything, we probably see a whole makeup different of this Lakers team moving forward. But I'm kind of excited. I'm very excited with this Lakers organization and want to see what they're going to do in the near future. So we're going to go out east. East, my brother, go east. We're going to go east and we're going to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. And they made some major moves coming up this off season. So in this major off season, they acquired Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers, their rival team, the Indiana Pacers. Miles Turner leaves Indiana and goes signs with the Milwaukee Bucks for 4 years, $107 million with the player option in the fourth year. Um, it's pretty much a significant upgrade from the position because it's pretty much replacing the position that Brooke Lopez left um, left Milwaukee, and pretty much Milwaukee pretty much replaced that position that Brooke Lopez left Milwaukee with Miles Turner, and also weakening their rival team in the Indiana Pacers which is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just think about it. The Indiana Pacers, Game 7, one game away from being an NBA champion, and your best player tears the ACL. He's pretty much out for the remainder of the year. He's pretty much out for the for the whole year, and then you lose one of your key players in Miles Turner to your rival team in the Milwaukee Bucks. That's crazy on so many levels with that, and with them acquiring, you know, Miles Turner, they had to make room to they had to make room to make the deal for Miles Turner for his deal. So with the addition to getting Miles Turner, they end up waiving and stretching Damian Leonard's contract in order to sign Miles Turner in the process. So that was like a huge, that was a huge gasp across the NBA. It was like, wow, we know Dame is going to be out for a whole year. Is going to be out for a whole year. So it was like, okay, we want to keep Giannis. He's our big star. We don't want to lose him for nothing. We don't want to lose him at all. So we need to pretty much make it be known that, hey, we still want to put a winning team around you. We still want to do this. And they go out and they get Miles Turner, a guy that could stretch the floor, could stretch the floor, can knock down the three ball, could defend, block shots, and everything of that nature. Another guy that was also attached to the Lakers as well, of the Lakers trading for him and to fill that void, that center position void as well with Miles Turner. Now he's left Indiana and he's with Milwaukee with Giannis Antetokounmpo. So that was a huge move, and then them waiving Dame and stretching his contract, stretching his contract to make it work for Miles Turner. Wow, incredible move. I wasn't expecting that. It was a very savvy move by Milwaukee, making that deal happen for Miles Turner. Miles Turner leaving Indiana and going to Milwaukee. Also, they retained Bobby Portis. Um, he's opted to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks, picking up his player option for next season. Also, they've re-signed Ryan Rollins, returned to the Bucks on a 3-year, $12 million deal, a reunion, of Ryan Rollins and the Milwaukee Bucks. They signed Mark Sears. The Bucks signed the undrafted guard from Alabama on a two-way deal, and also they traded Pat Connaughton and two first-round picks to the Hornets as well. For I can't pronounce. I don't want to for as well. No, I think, and they trade Pat Connaughton as well to and two first round picks to the Hornets for Vassio. Hold on. Vassell. Okay. And it also the Milwaukee Bucks traded Pat Connaughton and two future second round picks to the Hornets for Vassell Mecha, and he looks like he left and went Mitchit, Vasil Mitchit. So also, let me do that again. Also, the Milwaukee Bucks traded Pat Connaughton to and two first round picks to the Hornets for Vassal Mitchell, who's right now looks like he's left the NBA and is now signed with Um, it looks like he's left the NBA and he's signed with like he's okay. So it looks, and also the Milwaukee Bucks trade Pat Connaughton and two future first round picks to the Hornets for Vassell Mitchin, who looks like he's signed a deal with the Israel pro Israel basketball team as well. So he looks like he's out of the NBA for the time being because he signed a very a lucrative deal. Um, a very lucrative deal, for Israel basketball team to make him the highest paid player in Israel. It is in Israel, so he decided to take that deal and move on and go to and move that deal not play for the Hornets. I mean, can you blame him? I mean, you can't blame a guy for doing that, especially if he's playing for an organization overseas that's going to pay him a lot of money. So I definitely want to do that. He's going to get more playing time, probably be the starting player on that team as well. So more power to him and everything. Let's talk about that. And also they traded away Pat Connaughton as well. Um, pegged to the Hornets as well with two future first round picks, two future second round picks as well. I gotta clean that up. I'll probably erase all that. Next up, we stand out in the East. We're talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. After having a very successful regular season, going 64-18, but then having a very, very extremely disappointing off season. I mean, postseason run, getting knocked down in the second round in 5 games against the Indiana Pacers. I mean, I had the Cleveland Cavaliers going to the Eastern Conference Finals at least this year. And when I saw them lose, losing very close games. Now I understand they dealt with a few injuries, especially with Darius Garland and certain players. They lost. They dealt with a lot of injuries that as well, because I believe Evan Mobley got hurt. Um, Darius Garland got hurt. I believe DeAndre Hunter also was hurt as well. And it was just very, they were just dealt with injuries, vast amount of injuries at the wrong time. And the Indiana Pacers was just on a run, man. They ran on a run. Tyrese Halliburton hitting these amazing, timely, buzzer beater shots in the first round, second round, Eastern Conference, and in the finals. Like, it was just amazing. He was hitting timely, timely game winning shots in the playoffs, man. And the Cleveland Cavaliers was just a casualty of it, man. And to lose in 5 in the to the Pacers was a very, very, very disappointing run for this Cavaliers team that had an amazing regular season, but then to end up losing the way they did in the playoffs, it was very, very, very unfortunate for the Cleveland team. So what does the Cleveland team does when they lose a team when they lose um, in 5 after having a very successful winning 64 games last year? They go and make some moves. So they re-signed Larry Nance Jr. coming back to the Cavaliers for a 1-year deal. He's coming back to his team that he played at one point in time with the he played with the Cavaliers in the past in 2017. I think it was 2017, 20 yeah, 2017, 2018 if I'm not mistaken. Um no, 2018. I'm sorry, because 2018 he made it to the finals with the Cavaliers. They got swept by Golden State. Um yeah, so yeah, this is something that he got swept by Golden State that year in 2018. He was on that team, so he makes his return back to the team he played for in the past. His dad played for the Cavaliers in the past too, and Larry Nance Sr. So great reunion for this team as well. Um, um, Sam, they resigned Sam Muriel as he's returned to the Cavaliers on a 4-year deal. And before I get into that one, Tyrese Proctor, the team signed the young guard to a contract. Also, they resigned Luke Travers. Um, Travers was brought back on a 2-way contract with the team. Now, this is one trade that the Cavaliers did that a lot of people are not talking about that I believe was a very good trade and that I believe could do something very special for this Cavaliers team if he can stay healthy. Where the Cavaliers trading for Lonzo Ball, um, just a straight swap for Lonzo Ball with Isaac Okoro going to Chicago Bulls. Now, here's the thing: Lonzo Ball is a very good player. I remember watching this. I remember watching this kid when he came out of UCLA, and the Lakers picked him number 2 in the second overall pick in the draft. Didn't agree with it at that time because I really wanted guys like a De'Aaron Fox or Jason Tatum at the time, and because we needed another point guard. We needed a point guard because they gave up D'Angelo Russell to Brooklyn to pretty much get that Timothy Gate Mozgov atrocity contract off of our books, and we just needed another point guard. And you had the Lonzo Ball and you had De'Aaron Fox was pretty much the top 2 point guards in that particular draft. And the Lakers, Lonzo's dad, LeVar Ball, sold sold Lonzo to the Lakers, and Magic Johnson ended up trading, picking him number 2. But over the years, since out of the LA spotlight, and pretty much doing this thing, Lonzo has been extremely well, especially his first stint um, with Chicago. Chicago was a very good team. A lot of people forgot that Chicago team was very good with him, DeRozan, Zach Levine, and those boys. They was amazing. He played extremely well. He was getting guys involved. Lonzo has always been an incredible passer and defensive player since he's gotten into the NBA. Like, a lot of people don't give him that credit. His defense and his passing IQ has always been top notch. That has never been the question of his defense and his passing. His shooting, on the other hand, have always been a question mark because the way he shoots in front of his face and everything. But now he's changed all that, and now he's knocking down threes. He's knocking down threes and everything of that nature. Like, he's a real true threat. He's a real true threat when it comes to knocking down the threes as well. And so with his defense and everything, and with his passing ability, I think this was a great move. A great move by Cleveland. I think they did a fantastic job in getting Lonzo, putting him putting and also one thing it gives you a taller guard because Darius Garland's like 6'1", 6'2", maybe. You put Lonzo out there, he's a 6'6" guard. He gets guys involved. He plays defense. He has incredible IQ and smarts. Man, I'm telling you, Evan Mobley and my man Jared Allen, they're gonna love him. They're going to love playing with Lonzo Ball, man. When the ball is in his hands, and he's just like, hey man, just get over. I got you. And it's also going to take a lot of pressure off of Donovan Mitchell having to be a facilitator, for that, where he could just focus on scoring and being the scoring dynamo that he is. Very good move by Cleveland. I really enjoyed this move, and I hopefully with this move, and also with everything else that has happened with Indiana going down with injuries, with Tyrese Halliburton them going down with injury, um, you know, question mark with Milwaukee. question mark with New York. Even though New York found their head coach in Mike Brown, we're going to talk about that soon later on. But definitely want to see how this could definitely make put Cleveland in the space that they need to play, and plus also with Boston being out as well, with Boston being out, Indiana being out, and Milwaukee still has a question mark around them. Um, this could really be a move that could be very great for the Cleveland Cavaliers because you have Lonzo Ball, a big guard to go along with Mitchell and Hunter and Mobley and Allen. I'm really looking forward to this Cleveland team. I pray for their health because that's the only thing that I believe that can stop this team from reaching its full potential is health with this Cleveland team. So very looking forward to this Cleveland team, especially with Lonzo Ball. Very well look at this team, and then we're gonna go back out west. We're gonna talk about the defending champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They didn't do too much this off season because they're celebrating their championships. They pretty much just re-signed Chet Holmgren to a 5-year max extension to a $250 million contract. So pretty much got him there for the foreseeable future. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander signs a 4-year, $285 million supermax contract deal with the with the Oklahoma City Thunder, making him the highest paid player in the NBA. Extended his contract to keep him there until the 2030-31 season. So that's pretty much Oklahoma City, pretty much keeping their key core together. Shea Gilgeous is now the most highest player in the NBA. Same, just pretty much that team is just pretty much riding on the high that they are as NBA champions moving forward. Definitely great for this team moving forward. So we're gonna go to the Portland Trailblazers. Now we've talked about Damian Leonard being released or waived by the Milwaukee Bucks. Damian Leonard ends up signing a 3-year deal worth reportedly $42 million to return to the Portland Trailblazers. Now, a lot of people were shocked with this one because they thought, okay, he's a free agent. Will he go to Miami? Will he go to the Clippers, or will he go to, anywhere? Because he's pretty much, he has an Achilles injury. He'll be out for like the next year or so. It pretty much, in all actuality, it takes you like more a year or two to pretty much get you back into the swing of things, of being who you really are, being somewhat of your old self after suffering that injury. But having him back in Portland, it just feels right to me. It feels right. I think he didn't want to leave Portland in the first place because he loved Portland, and you could tell with him playing in Milwaukee, he it's just like he really wasn't feeling it there. Like he wanted to go to Miami. He wanted to go to Miami. He wanted to win a championship, and then you know they sent them to Milwaukee, and then all of a sudden, everything just so disjointed in Milwaukee with him, Giannis, the the head coaching carousel that happened between them, and then this happens, and then it's just like, okay, cool. It just now it's just like, now he's just back to where I think he just didn't never want to leave. He never wanted to leave Portland, and I think I believe Kendrick Perkins said it best. His heart never left Portland. It was always there. His kids was there. His life is there. He's built his life all the way through Portland. So him going back to Portland made all the sense in the world. I have no problem with that, and I'm really happy for him. Hopefully, he gets back to where he was, and moving forward in Portland. Um, One another thing I want to say about Portland is this rookie they got, Yang Henson. Yang Hinkson. They jumped back in the first round to get him. I think it was with the 16th pick in the draft, and a lot of people was like, "Wow, they went up." I think they went back and got him. I seen this kid. This kid looks really good. His passing ability is off the charts. I mean, I, he was like the first time I saw him. Rich Paul of Clutch Sports was was like they congratulate they announced on their social media page of signing him to the team. And I was like, huh, who's this kid? Clutch Sports got him, and when I saw him, he's like 6'1", 6'2", whichever 6'1", 6'2", depending on who you what you're reading. And what I seen blocking shots, passing the ball like he's Nikola Jokic. I mean, when I mean passing the ball, he's passing the ball to the spot where the player needs to be to make the play. That's when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, this kid is nice. And I think this is why the Blazers were willing to let DeAndre Ayton go, because they probably found their future um, superstar center, and especially he's Chinese as well, so they're going to get a lot of the Asian Chinese community behind the Blazers, like no other. Like this is going to be like what happened with Houston when Houston had Yao Ming and everything. So, but this kid, he looks athletic, he looks strong, he's blocking shots and um knocking down jump shots and everything of that nature. Man, he looks really, really good. I wanted the Lakers to get him so bad, and then when the Blazers jumped back into the first round to go get him, I was like, but it makes sense. So yeah, but it makes sense. And they had to get him. That's the guy they wanted. That's what they go out and get. That's what they wanted. So also with them getting him, the Blazers end up agreeing to a buyout to making DeAndre Ayton a free agent. Makes sense if they feel as though that this is the guy that they went back to go get to be their center of the future, and he's only 19 years old. Yeah, so they was like, you could go, DeAndre. We good. We got our guy. So thank you for your service. You know, we got Yang for the remainder of the future. So hopefully he does well, and pray for his health as well, because and everything up there in Portland. But yeah, I really like that pickup for that draft pick they did with Portland. And let's go to the cross rivals in LA, the Clippers, to the Los Angeles Lakers. So the Clippers end up re-signing James Harden to a new deal with the Clippers. So James Harden resigned. Brooke Lopez signs with leaves Milwaukee and signs a 2-year deal, $11 million with the. I'm sorry, signed a 2-year deal, $17 million with the Clippers. Nicholas Batum resigns goes back to the Clippers with a 2-year deal, $11 million deal, and the Clippers also grab Bradley Beal, who was asked for a buyout, who got bought out by the Phoenix Suns. Bradley Beal um, signs a 2-year, $11 million contract with the player option for the second year after being bought out by the Phoenix Suns. Now, if you're a Clippers fan, we get this all the time. Clippers make these type of moves. People say, "Oh, that's a great move. This is an amazing move. The Clippers are doing amazing. This is a great move for the Clippers and everything." But then all of a sudden, they do well in the regular season. They do absolutely well. Then all of a sudden, they flame out in the playoffs. Whether it's James Harden, who a lot of people don't trust in the playoffs because of of his flameouts that he's had in the playoffs, and then all of a sudden, and then you got Brooke Lopez, so you got a good backup center in Brooke Lopez to go around Zubac, which I'm still, as a Laker fan, upset at Magic Johnson for just giving him up for absolutely nothing. Like seriously, we pretty much just handed the Clippers Ivica Zubac as we just handed him over to the Clippers, which I'm still super upset. He should still be on the Lakers squad right now, man. But that's neither here nor there. Uh, so with that also being said, they got a Brooke Lopez. They got a as the backup center to Vincent Subox. Also, they traded away Norman Powell. Like Norman Powell, he's gone. He left the Clippers. Um, so Norman Powell was traded to the traded from the Clippers to the Heat in a three-team trade. Um, in a three-team trade, which sent between the Clippers, the Jazz, and the Heat, and where Norman Powell got sent to Miami. Do that again. And then the Clippers end up trading Norman Powell to in a three-team trade where Norman Powell ends up going to Miami. John Collins gets sent to the Clippers, and Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson gets sent to and Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson. Oh, do that again. Look. And then the Clippers end up trading Norman Powell in a three-team trade between the Clippers, the Jazz, and the Heat, where you have Norman Powell going to the Miami Heat. John Collins gets sent to the Los Angeles Clippers, and Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson and the Clippers 2027 second round pick to the Utah Jazz. So a lot of people were like wondering where the scoring is gonna where the consistent scoring was gonna come because Norman Powell had one of the best seasons he could ever had with the Clippers, and everything. And a lot of people thought he was snubbed as an All Star, playing with the Clippers as well. But it seems like they traded him away, and then they end up getting Bradley Beal to fill up that void right after he left. So looks like so it seems like they found their replacement for um, losing Norman Powell, making that trade for Norman Powell to Miami, and pretty much getting Bradley Beal off the free agent off of the free agent market, off the buyout market. Once he bought out from the from Phoenix. So yeah, it seemed like the Clippers did pretty well. Everybody's gonna talk great about the Clippers and what they've done as well this offseason. I give them a B for this one. I didn't even go give the other teams grades. I said I give them a B. I give Milwaukee a B for what they do, and of course, OKC, you know, OKC is a plus. Whatever. They're the defending champions. So what you gonna do? Um, but yeah, and then you can look at the Phoenix Suns. They trade away. I mean, we'll go with the Phoenix Suns now. Traded away Kevin Durant to Houston, getting Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th overall pick of the draft. They bought out Bradley Beal. They signed Devin Booker to a 2-year, $145 million deal extension with the Phoenix Suns, and also they traded for Mark Williams from Charlotte as well. So I don't know what Phoenix is doing now because they traded away KD. They let Bradley Beal. They bought out Bradley Beal, and now they signed Devin Booker to a 2-year extension with the Phoenix Suns, and it's like okay, and then they went out and get Mark Williams. So it's like, you know, what how this team is going to look moving forward. If you're a Phoenix team, it's all of a question mark, you know, and what you're doing with this team. So, uh, I give this team a D. I'm gonna give this team a D, and the reason why I give them a D because of they traded away the way the roster was set up. They freed up money, letting Bradley Beal walk. And well, waiving Bradley Beal, they sent KD to the Houston Rockets that made Houston a much competitive team that they could have asked for. And now you still got Devin Booker, which Devin Booker pretty much wants to stay in Phoenix. He's not asking for a trade. He's not looking for a trade or nothing like that nature. He signed a 2 year deal. That means he wants to stay in Phoenix. So that's how we're going to go with there and move on from there with the Phoenix Suns. So they really just pretty much they're just pretty much down bad right now. And then one of the trade in the trade, they didn't even get their own pick back from Houston as well. They got 5 second round picks, but they doesn't get their unprotected their one of their first round picks back. Yeah, that was a bad move for Houston. It could have easily done that, but we'll move. But it is what it is. So they're going to move on from there and see what else they can do. Now we're going to talk about the San Antonio Spurs. Like Texas teams are on fire right now, man. You got Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas we're going in Dallas, but with San Antonio, Greg Popovich is, he's no longer going to be the head coach. He's going to be in the front office. He's going to be El Jefe, the boss. He's going to be in the front office. And then got some great news for you Spurs fans. Victor Wembanyama, blood clot has been cleared. He's fully recovered. So he's going to be ready to go by the beginning of by the beginning of the season. Went on and trained with monks on a Buddhist monk retreat and everything. It's just like he's just trying to get his body and his mind together, and man, he's going to be something to deal with very, very soon, man. And San Antonio have an incredible roster they put together, getting De'Aaron Fox in the trade before the trade deadline last year, and then this off season they get Luke Kennard, Luke Connect. Luke Connect signed him to a 4 year, $40 million deal in Luke Connect. Then they got Kelly Olynyk, required him from the Wizards. And then they went and signed. They went and got and picked and they had a top pick in the draft and went and got Dylan Harper as well. So man, this San Antonio team is going to be very fun to watch, and they could easily jump as a I would say top four, maybe three, you know, in the West moving forward because of health wise and everything of that nature. But I really believe because they still got some young guys in there. They got a real good young guys, good young guys and veterans there, and of course I believe in the Spurs organization. They are an amazing team, amazing organization. So I really can see this Spurs team being something very exciting moving forward, as well. This team moving forward. So yeah, the Spurs look pretty good, man. They look damn good. Definitely want to see how that team works out this regular season coming up. Then we go to the New York Knicks, heading back east. The New York Knicks, they fired Tom Thibodeau. And they replaced him with Mike Brown as the new head coach of the New York Knicks. And then you got Jordan Clarkson, who's left. I think he was waived or he was let go by the Utah Jazz, and he joins the Knicks on a 1 year deal. Knicks on a 1 year deal as well. So that's pretty much some of the big highlights from the New York Knicks, with Mike Brown being the new head coach, and then you got Jordan Clarkson, who's put up another scoring guard that you can definitely benefit coming off the bench, behind Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and others. definitely want to see how that works out, and how Mike Brown is going to get this team going. Because now, excuse me, with Tom Thibodeau gone, it's a lot. I think there's a lot of pressure on the Knicks right now because one, you made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. You made it as far as the Eastern Conference Finals. Anything less than that is considered a failure because you got rid of Tom Thibodeau, and and pretty much it's like all on you now to do it because Tom Thibodeau got you as far as to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now we've always known that a Tom Thibodeau team gets run to the ground. It gets it gets grind to the bolts when it comes to the bolts with it when it comes to a Tom Thibodeau team. But he gets results. He gets result out of his team. I wish he would learn how to ease up off of his guys to give them time to rest and not grind them to the ground. I still to this day will think about Derrick Rose being in a game being in a game where the game should have been resting, and he ended up getting his knee torn because of it because he was ran to the ground. You know what I'm saying? This has been with Boston, with Minnesota, now with with it's been no, I'm sorry, it's been with I'm sorry, Chicago. It's been with Chicago, Minnesota, now New York, and we've been hearing this ever since. Even last year, when they was made it to the second round, everybody was seeming like to be on duct tape and band aids and bubble gum, trying to keep everything together, man. With Tom Thibodeau, so man, it's just. But now that they don't have Tom Thibodeau, and it seems like the players were adamant that Tom Thibodeau was the problem because of his um, abilities not to give guys rest or to keep grinding on guys. Now they have to bring results, and they have to make it like to me they have to make it out of the East in order to be successful. You can't take a step back or be in the same position getting rid of the head coach. You got to do better. You got to get out the East. And now that you don't have Boston to be in your way, you don't have Indiana in your way. The only team that will probably be in your way will probably be Cleveland. Will probably be Cleveland, and depending on what Milwaukee does, because you got Giannis and Miles Turner, it's something that that New York really has the pressure on them more than anything to get to in the Eastern Conference to get out of the East and to move forward and to get into the finals for the first time since '99 when they end up losing to the Spurs. All right, so we got the Milwaukee. I'm sorry, the next team we're going to talk about, Minnesota Timberwolves. They re-signed Julius Randle to a 3-year deal. Naj Reid returns for a 5-year deal as well. And one thing I saw that was really that really caught my eye too. Nicolette Alexander Walker departs them in free agency to go to Atlanta. That really triggered me because I was like, wow, he was a very good defense player. He was a guy that was coming right behind, Jaden McDaniel off the bench and played a really good defense and everything of that nature. And they kept throwing that him and Shea Gildress are cousins and everything. So that's one thing they kept saying, or kept bringing up that him and Shea are cousins and everything. I'm sorry, Shea and Alexander are both and Alexander they're both cousins and everything. And it's just that right there. I was like, ooh, that's a little ding. That's a little ding for Minnesota of losing a backup defensive guy like him to play behind Jaden McDaniel. I mean, it is what it is, but they still did well. They kept Julius Randle. Julius Randle seemed like he loved where he is with Minnesota. He's re-signed with them for the next 3 years. Minnesota loves Naz Reid out in Minnesota, so signed a 5-year deal, so he'll be there for the long term. So yeah, this is gonna be pretty good moving forward for Minnesota. Now let's get into Denver. This was a big news, somewhat of a big news that was going on where Nikola Jokic said he was not going to sign a contract extension with the Denver Nuggets this offseason, and he's eligible for a 3-year, $212 million extension. So this is pretty much I would say is a nothing burger to say it will be nothing with this one because this is more of a financial move on Nikola Jokic part. He absolutely deserves it. So I think this is more of a financial move than just the move of say, "Hey, I'm not signing this until you do something." I think it's more of a financial move for him to move forward to get more money, which I totally get it. To wait next year to get a $212 million contract to go to be in Denver, absolutely, I can see why that working. Then Denver ended up adding. They went out and got Bruce Brown again. He agreed to a 1-year contract with them. They traded Michael Porter Jr. to Brooklyn to get Cam Johnson, which I think that was a very good move on Denver part. Cam Johnson, tall guard, can defend and shoot, and could score and everything. Absolutely a great perfect move. Switch out between Cam and Michael Porter Jr., who's been always questioned about his defense. But this is definitely this is definitely a great move by Denver, getting Cam Johnson as well. Also, they went and got a Tim Hardaway Jr., signed him to a 1-year deal. Jonas Valanciunas, they got Jonas Valanciunas as a backup center to Nikola Jokic. Very good move. It looked like he was going to leave and play overseas, but then he decided against it, and now he's going to be playing with behind Nikola Jokic as well moving forward. So yeah, that's pretty much good with that one. And then we're gonna final team. That final team we're gonna talk about on this one, the Dallas Mavericks. So, like I said, the Dallas Mavericks get the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 draft, and they get Cooper Flag. Um, they get Cooper Flag. They re-sign Kyrie Irving to a deal, and man, that was just a huge deal for Dallas to get that done, because now it's just like now they're just like you got Anthony Davis, you got Daniel Gafford, you got Max Daniel Gafford, you got Dave Lively, you got okay, do that again. Because with Dallas, you got Anthony Davis, you got Daniel Gafford, you got um, Lively, you got resound Kyrie, and now you got a young stud in Cooper Flag, where you can build for the future and currently go after championships this year as well. Go and be a championship contender if you can, because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people. I look at this Dallas team; they could be a really good contending team for championships. I really do. I really do. If they could stay healthy, and stay healthy and everything of that nature, and see how Kyrie comes back off of his injury, as well off that injury he comes back. I really believe this Dallas team could be the top team in the West in the NBA. To be honest with you, because their defense alone is going to make this team incredibly difficult to score on. With Cooper Flag, he's already shown that he could be he could be very good defensively with his size and his wingspan and skills and everything of that nature. Then of course you got AD, Daniel Gafford, Lively. Those guys are going to look with defense as well, and also Max Christie, who's a very good defensive guard as well. That I was as a Lakers fan, I was like, you got to get rid of Christie, but it's Lucas, so I bite that bullet. But he's definitely something as well that's really good moving forward as well. So it's more of You have time if Dallas, even if they don't contend this year, I believe they have at least 2, maybe 3 years to for contention. I mean, unless the pressure gets hot on them, and if the Lakers win the championship with Luka, that a lot of Dallas fans are going to look at Dallas and look at them and be like, "Yo, what are we doing here?" Luka just won a championship. That could have been in the Dallas uniform. You know what I'm saying? So, but I really believe they have the ability to go and with the talent and the defense that they have as a team, I think they could do it. I think they could be a really good team moving forward. I give them an A because, of course, getting lucky and getting Cooper Flag, getting the number one pick and getting Cooper Flag, to go with AD, to go with Lively, to go with Gafford, and just that team looks like it's going to be. And then Kyrie, when Kyrie comes back off his injury, that team is going to be pretty dangerous to deal with moving forward with this team, man. And I really hope, I'm really looking forward to this team being one of the top teams in the NBA moving forward with their defense alone. So let's see how this goes, and how that goes with Dallas and everything, and just see how this rolls with this team. And dealing with injuries is definitely going to be the number one thing dealing with this Dallas team. Well, that's it. I held your ear long enough on this podcast. I want to thank you so much for listening to me rant, listening to me give my opinions and my thoughts on this NBA offseason. I will be back very soon to talk about the up and coming NFL season. Um, the Eagles just released their new Super Bowl rings that they have, which is, even as a Cowboys fan, I gotta admit they're pretty dope. It's pretty dope with the whole wing popping out of it and everything of that nature. With that, I think that was a pretty dope move for the Philly. For the Eagles championship ring. That's the only thing I'm going to talk more about that. But definitely want to see. We're definitely going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers, how he's going to be, how much faith I have in Aaron Rodgers with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who has more pressure with between Joe Burrow and and we're going to talk about who has the more pressure between Joe Burrow or um, we're going to talk about who has the more pressure between Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson this up and coming NFL season, and also Patrick Mahomes. How's the way the this the also with Patrick Mahomes and the Cleveland and the, oh Jesus, you know. Also, we're going to talk about who has the more pressure between Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, and we're going to see how will this team will the. Also, we will see if the Kansas City Chiefs will bounce back from the year from their beat down they got in the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles, and it looks like they're doing extremely well now with the guys that they built a great offensive line to support Patrick Mahomes. So we'll see how that goes. But once again, thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of Once the Scrimmage. I truly appreciate you, and truly great that you was able to listen to me rant and stumble and bumble on certain words and names and things of that nature. But I'm super glad that you were able to give me the opportunity and gave me a listen on this podcast. If you want to continue to listen to What's the Scrimmage, just like, share, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can know when I'm uploading any more shows. Also, I'm trying my best to put out more shows on a consistent basis and everything, because life be lifing. I do have a 9 to 5 and everything of that nature. I'm trying to find ways to get things done in the future. But I will definitely continuously to put out episodes because this is my favorite pastime to do, and I'm glad that you are here with me, listening to me give out my sports analogies and give my sports take by a fan for the fans. So thank you so much for joining What's the Scrimmage. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace, and thank you once again.